Last night, ManchesterUnited.com announced the unsurprising news that Mason Mount has suffered a hamstring injury and is expected to be sidelined for about another month. The English player only played 45 minutes in the defeat against Brighton last weekend and suddenly disappeared, for reports said he felt unwell and had to leave the field. Last season, Mason Mount was hospitalized multiple times with various issues, and it was thought that a summer without the Euro would help him regain his fitness early. But it seems the situation hasn't really improved. The question now is there a secret about the former Chelsea star's injuries? And why is Mason Mount as fragile as glass? Let's find out the most straightforward answer in today's program with VAR 360. After the victory against Fulham on the opening day of the new season, manager Erik ten Hag praised Mason Mount for his important contributions and overall play for Manchester United. However, there was a small detail we didn't pay attention to when the Dutch coach mentioned the conditional factor that Mount must maintain his physical foundation. The joy was short-lived as injury struck again just 1 week after that statement. This time, Mount re-injured his hamstring and will be out for a maximum of 5 weeks. However, it's not by chance that everything always seems to be against the former Chelsea midfielder, even though he hasn't played much since joining Manchester United. In his final season at Chelsea, Mason Mount actually suffered 3 injuries and barely played until he announced his departure. This reminds me of a similar case in the past, Fernando Torres, who also lost form after moving to Chelsea from Liverpool. Former defender Jamie Carragher once revealed that Liverpool had concealed the Spanish star's fitness issues to get £50 million in 2011. About 2 years before that, AC Milan did the same with Ricardo Kaká when he joined Real Madrid and was no longer the same player as before. Mason Mount's condition may not be as bad as Torres and Kaká were back then, but he's at least in a similar situation. Another factor affecting the situation is Manchester United's tactical operation, which I shared in yesterday's analysis, causes players to frequently be passive and lose energy against opponent. As mentioned, Man United places heavy duties on the 2 central midfielders as they have to support the fullbacks in situations where the opponent attacks from the wings. This explains why Casemiro now only plays 60 minutes, while 18-year-old Kobbie Mainoo also can't maintain peak performance throughout the match. Mount himself is known for his ability to press constantly and move tirelessly, but now he can't even do that. The reality also shows that the star born in 1999 didn't collide with anyone and suddenly had to leave the field before halftime at Brighton. Though this is likely a type of injury due to overexertion. Last season, Mason Mount had problems with his groin and calf, but recently he suffered a hamstring injury, type of injury this player experienced 5 years ago, precisely in early 2019. It's important to understand that the hamstring is a sensitive area, rarely affected. But if there's a problem, it certainly means the player has been overworking. Reece James at Chelsea is the greatest case of hamstring issues, with that injury recurring many times and possibly never fully healing. Feels like the Blues captain's posterior thigh has been damaged beyond repair. For Mason Mount, the situation isn't that bad yet, but it's a red flag. When facing this issue, most players prone to hamstring injuries become sensitive to other injuries, such as Luke Shaw or Ben Chilwell. This means that once he encounters problems related to the posterior thigh muscles, he's overworking, and he's starting to get used to a life full of various injuries. If I had to make a prediction, I think Mason Mount won't succeed at Manchester United if Erik ten Hag continues to develop the football project as it is now. The intensity of midfield activity at this club is perhaps only sustainable for Bruno Fernandes, while most others are either not used to it or unable to adapt. According to injury records, Mason Mount hardly suffers from issues related to direct physical contact. On the contrary, he very frequently experiences muscle injuries, meaning this player will continue to live with them because Mason Mount's best quality is his movement. So it's hard for him to suddenly avoid this plague. We can't say Chelsea tricked Manchester United about Mount's condition. United proactively approached Mount, and realistically, no one in the football world is immune to injury. Mason Mount can't yet be compared to many other legends in terms of hospitalization, but life can sometimes be cruel. Now this player is walking the path of Kaká or Torres after they had already made their names. If we have to look for a silver lining, I'd say Mason Mount not playing might be fortunate for Manchester United, because they will immediately bring Manuel Ugarte onto the field, pair with Kobbie Mainoo in supporting Bruno Fernandes up front. This might even be a turning point for manager Erik ten Hag's team this season. It seems like there are many difficulties for Mason Mount. Overall, the situation looks bad, but in football as in life, you win some, you lose some. The Ineos group will certainly handle the situation in the short term based on their past work experience. If Mason Mount has to leave Manchester United early, it would be a relief for both parties, although I always hope I'm wrong about this case.
Thank you for tuning into VR 360. We hope you enjoyed our latest updates and insights on all things Manchester United. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on the latest news, match analysis, and exclusive content. Join our community of passionate Red Devils fans and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your support helps us bring you the best coverage of our beloved team. Until next time, stay united and keep the red flag flying high.